Salutations, fam! This is Arim from HaltessiaGaming. I've built and played a bunch of different Blue Eyes lists over the last few months, but this deck actually ended up getting me a top cut placement at a very meta-heavy tournament, so I just had to upload the deck profile for this one. At the beginning of the video, I'm going to be going over the tournament and my thoughts on the matchups I played. After that, I'll get into the deck profile, and after that, I'll be going over some deck building theory that was kind of useful in regards to building this deck profile and something you can utilize when it comes to building your own decks in the future. And after that, I'll showcase some test hands and round off the video with some actual duels featuring the deck. During the deck profile, I'll be suggesting potential budget alternatives for some of the more pricey cards. Timestamps for each portion will be in the description, along with the deck list, though I highly recommend you watch the deck profile as it will be very educational and it supports me directly. And without that, let's go ahead and get into the tournament recap. So, my record for the tournament was X1-1 in 4 rounds of Swiss, and then I ended up getting 5th place in Top Cut. My first match was against Numeron Eldritch, so he won the die roll and performed that Numeron Utopic Zexal combo, but so he started the combo and he did 4 summons and then overlaid into Utopic Zexal as the 5th summon. Now I remember this dude, one of the people who was also at the shop, looked at him. He's like, "What are you doing? I hope you get Nibiru." And then he walked over and he looked at my hand and he just started shaking his head and he went away. I think you can guess what happened to him. But it's still Eldritch, so he was able to set a couple back row and pass, right? So turn 2, I was able to power through his leftover interruptions, but man, was it a grind game. It really did help that he absolutely refused to scoop the Blue Eyes. And by the time game 1 ended, there were 5 minutes left in the round, because every time I would do something, he'd be like, "Hey, can I read that? Can I read that? Can I read that?" And it's not necessarily that he was slow playing, but it's just he was doing a lot of things that just made the game take long. And then on top of that, it's Outlet, so it was a grind game for several turns and everything. And then but by the time by the time game 1 ended, there were 5 minutes left. And so there's 5 minutes left. I'm siding for game 2, and he's trying to guilt trip me into just undersiding so he can win. And I'm like, please. It takes me less than a minute to side 12 cards, confirm the 15 card side deck, which you're supposed to do because of the policy document, by the way. You're supposed to actually confirm that your side deck has the same number of cards in it. And then you can't just if you pile shuffle, you're supposed to riffle shuffle as well. And I took less than a minute to do all of that and get everything started. But he was sitting here trying to go "Oh, you're just trying to run out the clock." And I'm like, my dude, it's not my fault that you refuse to scoop and you wasted all the time. But game 2, he sets 3 back row, and I'm like, okay, cool, my turn. I draw, and there's 3 minutes left, because he somehow took 2 minutes to set 3 back row, but whatever. And I was like, okay, battle phase, end of battle phase, evenly matched, right? And then I set up Borlo Savage Dragon. And then, I passed it over to him, and then time got called during his turn. And because I had won the previous game, I ended up winning the match. Now, and then the crazy thing that I found this out later, right? But apparently he tried to, tell the judge that I was slow playing. But, the judge didn't buy it at all. And it's yeah, okay. Just can't accept that you lost the Blue Eyes, but whatever. Anyway, my next match was against Numeron Invoked, and yeah, you're gonna notice Numeron a lot, because that's just something that's been really prevalent at tournaments for the last couple events. But yeah, Numeron Invoked. Game 1, he made the Zexal. I didn't draw the L. You know how it goes. Game 2, I made my board and he couldn't play through it. Game 3, you'll notice there's a lot of game 3 scenarios. There's I want to say 10 minutes left, right? He makes the Zexal, and he activates it in the standby phase, and I had the Gamma. I also had the Imperm, but we'll talk about that later. Now, here's the thing. Dragon Link combo usually takes 10 minutes, but we've only got 6 minutes left at this point, so he's just egging me on to just enter the battle phase and attack. But honestly, I don't know what outs he might possibly have, and he has every incentive to potentially turn a loss into a draw, and maybe even a win. But I have the resources to put a negate on board and OTK him, so I'm going to do that instead, right? Because, I don't want to enter the battle phase and then try to attack, and then he's like, haha, activate this thing, and then, I end up losing. And then, because it's like, if, your opponent tells you, oh yeah, just go ahead, and then they activate something, you can't be like, hey, well, but he said he didn't, he said he didn't have anything. Like, you can't do that. So it's like, you still got to play around stuff. But anyway, I made Boros Sword and Borlo Savage Dragon, and I OTK'd him. And, oh yeah, I remember. So like, this was another dude that complained to like the judge that I was like stalling to win by time or some junk like that, which completely ignores. Because here's the thing: I didn't win because time was gone. I won because I OTK'd him. Because like Boros Sword attacks twice. Borlo Savage Dragon has like 4,000. That's more than enough to get damage for game. But the thing is, because remember how there were like 6 minutes left when I started my turn, so there was only like a minute left after I attacked for game and everything. And like, whatever, it's like, Dragon Link combo usually takes 10 minutes, and I did it in 5 minutes while he was constantly interrupting me. But like, slow playing, stalling for time or whatever. Anyway, next match. So this was one of my favorite matches. Not necessarily because of the matchup, because it's Numeron Ultra, guys. I hate that matchup. But like, because this guy, he's one of the, the people I play with a lot. So we're good friends at this point, right? But anyway, Numeron Ultra, guys, he's ready to show me how strong his new deck is. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing, like, because he was, like, really excited for seeing how this would buff up his deck, and he's going to show me, right? So he wins the die roll, because, of course, I lose all the die rolls. And he activates the Zexal in my standby phase, but I had the Gamma, right? Summoned up a bunch of dragons, blew up his board, OTK'd him. So game 2, he lets me get to the main phase 1, and he goes, yeah, I'm gonna wait till you commit a monster to the board on first, right? And I'm like, because, we got that banter because we're good friends, and I'm like, oh, okay, how about I commit this Pankratops, right? And I drop Pankratops, because, like, Pankratops, I contribute that, force the Zexal, and I had the Gamma in hand, so, like, and he goes like, oh, dang, that's real strong. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Solemn Strike that. And I was like, oh no, I was like, oh, you got it. And so like, because like, so basically I get locked out of my card effects, right? And so I end up with like 2 monsters on board. And like, it's Alter, guys, they can't really like OTK you. They just like kind of poke you for a little bit every turn while just continuously maintaining card advantage and preventing you from getting, things going. And so he just like pokes me to death, and I was never able to get like a monster to like stick. And then game 3, right? Neither of us was able to get anything established. Neither of us was able to get any damage done. We kept going like, hand trap, no, right? And so basically, like, we ran out of time, and that match was a draw, and that was my one draw. And like, the next match, boy. Let me tell you. So my next match, my final match of Swiss was against Plunder Patrol. And let me tell you, I got bodied. The Swift 2-0. I'm talking, I got bodied so bad, I don't even know why I lost. Because, like, normally, right, after I lose a match, there's typically, like, a moment I can think of during the match where I can think of, yeah, that was probably what cost me the game there. Yeah, if I'd have had something to stop that, I'd have been able to win the game. Yeah, not using the Veiler there probably cost me the game. Yeah, probably should have waited for, like, there's typically a moment where I can think back on and think that is what cost me the game. But this match, bro, I don't even know what was happening. I just got destroyed, right? And it's like, it destroyed me so bad that, like, I was just demoralized completely. Because it's like, I thought that I actually wasn't going to make top, because I was just, like, really disappointed. I was, like, super depressed at everything. And then, like, the TO was like, top 8 pairings are up, right? He was like, top cut pairings are up. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then, like, my opponent, he comes and gets me, he's like, hey, we play, right? And I was like, wait, what? Oh, man. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I don't get it anymore. Like, just take the win, right? Because because like I was just disappointed, and I was just like constantly just beating myself up over like all the like bad plays and everything. So it's like I just got my prize support and everything because I did end up making top cut, and so I got like my packs, I got my store credit or whatever, and I just went straight home and I went straight to bed and everything. And it's like the tournament ended on a bit of a sad note, but overall it's like it was a good tournament because it's like I made top cut with my new Blue Eyes list. Like I thought like, okay, let me try out this new Blue Eyes list. I think it's gonna be really good and everything, right? And it turned out that it was really good. I beat Numeron Eldritch and Numeron Invoked, and so I ended up drawing against Numeron Ultra cards. But honestly, that was really like a coin flip. That could have gone either way. But yeah, that's going to be it for like the tournament recap. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get right into the deck profile. Alrighty, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. So, a couple of things I want to like cover. I'll probably talk more about this after the deck profile to explain like why, and like basically go over like the math of it. But so this is a Blue Eyes Dragon Link variant. We've gotten a lot of like really crazy support in the last couple of sets that like kind of enable this strategy to really like flourish and be like really consistent and everything and really powerful. Are also like really making use of a lot of the Blue Eyes cards and things like that. So it's a 60 card list, and so to give kind of like the idea of how I ended up building a 60 card list was so if you've watched my Duel Links deck profile, I mentioned briefly how like the idea was to play a larger deck size so that I would have less of a chance of drawing, my bricks, but like, fill it up with like more like cards that enable plays so that like I won't have less of a chance to actually see a combo starter, but I'll have less of a chance to see my brick. So it isn't actually more consistent, and it actually ends up being, it doesn't end up being less consistent, and it ends up being more consistent because of the fact that I have less of a chance to brick. Because the majority of the time that I lose playing this deck, it's because I bricked. So yeah, 60 cards. Oh, and also, so originally, right, the idea was to play a 50 card list, but like I miscounted and I built a 60 card list and I play tested with 60 cards, but then like while like counting for like pile shuffling or whatever, I realized that I was playing a 60 card list, so I checked the math on that and I realized that 60 cards is actually not that, less consistent. Like it's not, the consistency isn't that much lower than it would be in a 50 card list because of the amount of like combo starters that I'm playing and things like that. And it's actually, more consistent because of the fact that the chance of bricking is even less than it was in the 50 card list. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So to start things off, obviously you got to play your 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. So you have the 3 Blue Eyes. And yeah, so your Blue Eyes package is very small, so you just play the 3 Blue Eyes, the 1 alternative, and the 1 White Stone of Legend. So the thing about it is that like because you have such powerful search power and like all these cards in the extra deck that just get you stuff directly from the deck or whatever, you don't actually have to like play a bunch of these so you can like draw into them. You never need to draw into these, but you're going to see these almost every single game. You're going to see your Stone of Legend and your 3 Blue Eyes every single game. But alternative, you're still going to see it like a ton of the time because like you have cards that just bring it directly to your hand while facilitating the combo that you want to go into. So it's like you don't have to play a very large Blue Eyes package at all because, you just search everything directly from the deck to the hand. And it's very, very good because that brings up the consistency of the deck so much, and it makes it so you don't have to play like potential bricks. We're playing a Rokket package because, it's a dragon-based deck. These are some very powerful dragon cards. You have the Rokket Tracer. In my opinion, the best Rokket monster. You pop a card, you summon directly from the deck. It's a tuner. And then you play the 2 level 4 Rockets, Magnarokket Dragon and Silverrokket Dragon, because you want to make Borlo Savage Dragon. And it's like, this adds consistency to like your starting plays, but it also gives you a further ceiling because you make
McBurlow Savage Dragon, and then you got the one Absorouter Dragon, because that just gives you extra consistency. Because in those like awkward hands, you could still pitch an Absorouter to the grave to get a Rokket Tracer, and then you can like pop off with your combos that way. You're playing 3 copies of Starliege Seyfert. So this is definitely one of the more. This is probably like one of the most important cards, or if you want to play Blue Eyes Dragon Link, because this is actually how you see alternative consistently. Because part of the combo is like you use Seyfert, you pitch the Blue Eyes, White Dragon that you'll have searched to your hand to the graveyard, and then you search alternative, and then when this hits the graveyard, you can banish it to then just add that Blue Eyes back to your hand, so your alternative is live. It's very, very powerful. I understand that this is very expensive, so it's like if you want to still play like Dragon Link, or even like the Blue Eyes Dragon Link variant, right? Just understand that without Seyfert, you won't be able to consistently access. Well, it's not even that you won't be able to like consistently do it, but it'll be like a slightly less chance for you to use alternative. But if you don't have this, you can play like Gateway Dragon. You can play like other extenders. But it's basically like if you don't have this, you want to play more extenders, and that's the idea with that. So 3 Starliege Seyfert. Continuing with the Chaos package, you're playing, the White Dragon Wyverburster and the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, right? So these are just like very critical pieces because they're just free bodies and they give you generate advantage. And then like with Chaos Space, you get to draw cards. Really, really powerful. You're playing, to round off your Chaos package, you're playing Galactic Spiral Dragon and Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. So basically the way the combo works is you want to like search the Legionnaire directly to your hand, and then you want to dump the Spiral Dragon to your grave so you can go into your rank A plays really, really, really easily. And that's like the benefit of playing like Blue Eyes Dragon Link as opposed to like standard Dragon Link, like the Dragon Link FTK or like Rokket Dragon Link, is that Blue Eyes Dragon Link really takes advantage of like those Chaos cards. It really takes advantage of the rank 8s. So it's like that's the benefit of it, and that's what makes it strong. For additional starters, this is one of your 1-card combo play starters. You have Black Metal Dragon, and you have the one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. So yeah, it's just like basically what you would do is you would link this off. It searches the Red Eyes, and then you can use the Red Eyes, bring it back, and you have like your combo starter. And yeah, that's one of the things that makes this super, super, super good. It's just like that additional consistency because you're playing a 60-card deck, so you want to have as many like 1-card combo starters as you possibly can, because you need, in order to do like your quote unquote full combo, there's a couple of things that need to happen because you are playing Blue Eyes Dragon Link, so you need a couple more cards to do it than like a standard Dragon Link list. But like that's just another one of your 1-card combos. Now this is an engine that I'm playing that like I tend to get like a lot of surprise reactions every time like I use this card. But it's it's a 1-card Needle Fiber, and that's what makes it so strong. It's why I'm playing it. It's a dark, and it is 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. So the thing about this and why this 1-card Needle Fiber is you pitch Carbonetton to the grave off of its effect, and then you banish the Carbonetton to summon Flambeau Guard, and then you have a tuner, like 2 monsters including a tuner, you make Halki Fibrax. The added benefit of playing this engine as in the Dragon Link deck is that going second, you can also search Pankratops, and that's really, really powerful. So yeah, this is what you've got. You got that Soul Eating Oviraptor engine. And then for like your your engine requirements, you have Omni Dragon Brotar and the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. So like I'm trying to think. So the thing about like the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword is before I was playing the Hieratic Seal into the Amorphage Goliath instead to get my extra deck lock. But the benefit of playing the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword is that like they can't super poly you if they draw it, and like they can't super poly you in the draw phase or anything like that because they're just locked out of the extra deck before their turn even starts, and it makes the number 38 that much more threatening because it gives it that 1,000 attack point boost. And so like it's just part of what makes it so strong. Omni Dragon Brotar searches all your dragons basically. Really, really good. You can summon it directly from the deck. Extremely versatile, extremely powerful. Off to the spells. just more of your starter stuff, your search cards. You're playing 3 Fossil Dig, immediately gives you access to your Oviraptor. We already know why Oviraptor is good. And this is one of the like new cards that came out that like really pushed the consistency of the deck and the ceiling of the deck so much higher, and it is chaos based. So this card, you pitch a dark, you can search alternative actually. So it's like it just adds so much consistency because you can search like whatever you need for that specific moment, and then like you can banish it to like draw a card, and you have a lot of cards that you can use to make use of that effect. You have 3 copies of Quick Launch. It's really broken, honestly. Like every time a new ban list hits, I expect to like look at it and be like, Quick Launch is limited to 1, when they realize that this is literally just a better version of Emergency Teleport. But yeah, really broken card. 1 copy of 1 for 1 because you want to summon Black Metal Dragon directly from the deck. Potentially you can summon Stone as well. It's just another card that's a really powerful starter / extender. Then you have your field spells. You have Boot Sector Launch and Dragon Ravine. They're part of the combo. You search them directly from the deck to the hand. Extremely powerful. This typically, you don't actually use this most of the time. Typically, you just kind of keep this in your hand as like a recovery play for the follow-up turn if they somehow break your board. And then you have like the Dragon Ravine to be able to, to get that Galactic Spiral Dragon in the graveyard, or potentially use it to pitch an Absorouter so you can get your combo play started. Let's say they like interrupt you and things like that. You play your extenders. You're playing 4. You're playing 3 copies of War Legacy Guard Dragon because this card is amazing. This card basically says like, oh, I got Nibiru'd at the end of my turn after getting hand trapped twice. We're good. We still OTK. We still make, Borosword and everything. It was so good. And the Monster Reborn, because it just, being able to target any monster in the graveyards is really good. So it's limited to 1 for a reason. Stupid good extender. And then because you want to play get your combos to go through, you're playing effectively, you're playing anti-hand trap cards. You're playing 3 copies of Drag Down into the Grave. So the thing about this card that makes it super good is the fact that like it's one of it outs Nibiru. So it's like you get to look at their hand. If they have the Nibiru, you just discard the Nibiru. But the added benefit of Drag Down is that like you get to look at their hand, so you get information about what they have in their hand. So it's like this is actually like 1v games like that. Like being able to know what's in their hand is really good, because I remember one time, I activated Drag Down, looked at his hand, and he had 5 hand traps, and I already knew I'm not going to be able to play through that. But he's not going to be able to do any combos. So I was like, instead of like, activating effects so like my monster gets destroyed, I'll just normal summon the Oviraptor and punch for like 1800, and then like just do a bunch of normal summons and stuff, right? And just like turn into that slow place game, because I know you can't do it in combos because your hand is full of hand traps. And it's like you don't really care about them seeing your hand, because if you're a combo deck, you're probably going to like vomit all your cards onto the field anyway. So 3 copies of Drag Down, very powerful. And then 3 copies of Called by the Grave. You're a combo deck, you need to be able to like get your combos through. This is anti-hand traps and such. Yeah, it's really good. And that's another thing that's good about Drag Down, is that it helps you get rid of hand traps that you can't hit with Called by the Grave. And for the last couple of cards, I've got hand traps because, playing in a very like strong combo meta, especially with the Numerons and such that are going around, you need to be able to like, you need to have some of this stuff so that you don't automatically lose going second. But I'm playing 2 copies of Ghost Ogre in the main, one of the better hand traps in the format. Yeah, it's really powerful. It actually destroys a monster. It deals with Numeron. It deals with so many things in the meta right now. So 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, and then I'm playing what is arguably my favorite hand trap right now, and it is Psyframe Gear Gamma. So the thing about Psyframe Gear Gamma that makes it so strong is the fact that it's it's good going second, but it's also really good going first, right? Because there's a lot of situations where I might be like, okay, I activate Quick Launch and they try to Ash me. Well, not only do I like out their Ash and destroy the Ash, I also get 2 free bodies on the board that I can just use to make Halki Fibrax. Or if I have like the extenders, I can use to make Psyframe Lord Omega, rip a card out of their hand. Like, it's just so good because it's like with something like Called by the Great Root, something like Drag Down, right? It's like if they have the hand trap, then I out the hand trap. But if they don't, I'm not really using this to like further my combo plays. But this one, it actually punishes them for like, using the hand trap. It doesn't just put them in a situation where it's like, okay, you hand trap me, but like, and I had the out for it. Like in that case, just basically just nothing happens with the hand trap. But with this, it's like not only do you not get to hand trap me, but you lose a card, and then I also get 2 free bodies on the board to make Halki Fibrax, and it's so good. Yeah. And it's just like because of that interaction with it being able to stop hand traps as well, it's like I'm basically playing 9 cards to out hand traps because of the 3 Called by, the 3 Drag Down, and the 3 Gamma. And then last but not least, for my last 3 hand traps, I'm playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Yeah, it's like, as you've noticed, all of the hand traps I'm playing are things that, help deal with the Numeron Utopic Zexal thing that's running rampant in the meta right now. And, like, you kind of need to play stuff like this because otherwise, like, if the Zexal resolves and you're playing a combo deck, you just lose. Because it's like, they lock out of card effects, you can't get anything started, and then the very next turn, they use the Numeron network again, and then they do the OTK, and you just die. So it's like, that's the idea with that. So, 60 card main deck. As you can see, like, I'm running, a lot of like tech stuff that is also like it's useful in multiple ways. And that's one of the things that like you have to keep in mind is like have stuff that's good for multiple scenarios. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the extra deck. So it's if you haven't figured it out, it is Blue Eyes Dragon Link. But so yeah, you have the Striker Dragon, LP, Pisty, and Link Spider. So these are your Link ones. Link Spider is here because if you have War Legacy Guard Dragon and you get Nibiru, this allows you to play around Nibiru, or rather play through Nibiru, not play around Nibiru. Because that's one of the main changes that I made with this deck as opposed to like my last variant of Blue Eyes Dragon Link, is that like I opted to like try to build the deck to be able to play through Nibiru instead of just worrying so much about playing around Nibiru. Because the reality is that like, I have the drag down so I can stop Nibiru before, I can out the Nibiru, and I have like Link Spider so I can play through Nibiru if they have it. Because like with playing like number 90 in my extra deck, especially with the extra deck space being as tight as it is, it's like sure sometimes I was able to surprise them and make number 90 and then Nibiru would be, would not be useful. But like it's better to just like be able to play through Nibiru than to go out of your way to play around Nibiru. Because, a lot of the times that's going to take way more resources, and it's like a lot of times they just don't have Nibiru. So yeah. And then for Link 2s, we're playing Halki Fibrax. So the thing is, I already know what you're probably like, Halki Fibrax. But like you'll notice in the deck profile, I'm not playing the O-Lion. And I'm not playing, a lot of the stuff that people play with Halki Fibrax. So you'll understand, like, so this card actually is what makes Blue Eyes Dragon Link so good and consistent. And you like, because basically what you use this for is you summon the Stone of Legend directly from the deck to like facilitate like your Dragon Link plays and all that. And that's what like, this is why like this is like really good in Blue Eyes Dragon Link specifically. And it's like, yeah, you probably could play the O-Line thing, but if you want to play like Blue Eyes Dragon Link, like you kind of need this because like, summoning the stone directly from the deck like that, it's so good. And yeah. And then you're also playing Romulus, Union Carrier, IP Masquerena, and then like you're playing the Nightmare package, right? Romulus searches your Dragon Ravine, Union Carrier gets you your Dragon Buster Destruction Sword directly from your deck, IP Masquerena. So the thing about like this, like the IP and like the Nightmare package, this was actually a decision I had fine-tuned the deck to like after like playtesting it a lot. So there were a lot of situations. There was a situation where I was playing against like I think the Sacred Beast deck during like casuals and playtesting and whatnot, and he flipped up There Can Be Only One, and like I ended up losing that game specifically because I was not playing Nightmare Phoenix, because I remember looking at my hand and like having the resources to be able to both make Nightmare Phoenix, pop the There Can Be Only One, and then make Borosword OTK. So I was like, I have to play the Nightmare Phoenix. And then like another game while playtesting, and this is so my other friend who plays Dragon Link as well, So because originally I think I was playing Cypher Lord Omega in my extra deck alongside Solomon Gray Almirage. Because so with Almirage, if you normal summon the Carbonet on, you can link it on for Almirage and then banish Carbonet and get the Flammable Guard, and it's another way to access Halki Fibrax. But he basically said like, yeah, that's true, but like you can still access the Carboneton because you can make Dragon Ravine and then, discard the Carboneton and then summon the Flammable Guard from the deck that way. And you want to have more darks in your extra deck because it will allow you to, make plays in those scenarios where you're locked in darks by Rokket Tracer. And like, I'm aware that like, this is like really expensive and whatnot, but like, if you can't afford like the IP Masquerena and whatnot, you can play it like Unchained Abomination. If you can't like afford like the carrier lock, you can play like Hieratic Seal and like the Amorphage Goliath to get like an extra deck lock too. And it's still really good, but it's just like just things that like those are budget alternatives. But this is like what I played. So yeah. And then for our Link 4s, because I believe you're just playing 2 Link 4s. You're playing the Saryuja Skuldred. This card is like very crucial to the combo. And then you're also playing the one Borosword Dragon. So I'm playing Borosword over the access code talker because like there were a lot of situations where I have an OTK, but I'm locked into dragons because I have the guard dragons on the field. And so by playing the Borosword, that enables you to, OTK in those situations when you're locked into dragons. And also, you don't really need the access code talker's pops because of the simple fact that like you have so much inherent removal in the deck because you have like, Overafter Searching Pankratops, you have Alternative being able to pop, and then like it's once per copy, so it's like every time you like link off Alternative and then bring it back to the field, you get another pop. And then like, you're playing Dingirsu, so you have even more pops, or rather it sends, and that like, and honestly, right, because you have your rank 8s, right? You have the number 38 and the Dingirsu. So the thing about Dingirsu and this is what makes like Blue Eyes Dragon Link so good, because there's so many situations where if I was playing like Rokket Dragon Link, I would have just lost, but because I'm playing Blue Eyes Dragon Link specifically, it'll allow me to win, because Blue Eyes Dragon Link gives me access to so much inherent removal. And the thing about having like inherent removal like in the main deck is that it can force your opponent's like negations and such, right? So it's like, let's say they're like, okay, I'm gonna wait to like negate your Rokket Tracer or something, so you can't go into your plays. Well, if I summon Alternative and I target your Borolo Savage Dragon, you can't afford to wait to negate because you have to negate it right then and there, or else you lose the card. And then I can like normal summon Rokket Tracer and then link it off, link off the Tracer and the Alternative, and then get my Halki Firebrax and get my combo going. And then like you have like all these cards that can't be targeted or they can't be destroyed by card effects or whatever. But Dingirsu doesn't target, it just sends it to the graveyard. So I remember like, with the Utopic Zexal deck or whatever, right? Sometimes they go into like the Mega Clops, right? And then Dingirsu is one of the cards you can play that outs that card, So you have multiple ways to out like a lot of very hard to deal with, boss monsters and such. And then the last card I'm playing in my extra deck is the 1 copy of Borolo Savage Dragon. Again, I understand that this is a very expensive card. If you can't afford the Borolo Savage Dragon, you can play something like Void Ogre Dragon, to get like that extra level 8 negation. You could also play like Chaos Ruler. That's a new card that came out. I played that in, my other topping Blue Eyes list. And let me tell you, it was amazing. But there's alternatives you can play, but that's just like your level 8 synchro, because the Rokket package kind of like, facilitates that. You could also like, honestly, you could probably play like another Link monster, another rank 8, whatever. But it's just, this is what I'm playing. And then we're moving on to the side deck. So this side deck is not what I played at the tournament, but this is what I adjusted my side deck to after playing in the tournament. So one of the things that like I was playing in that was different was that in the tournament I was main decking 2 copies of Nibiru, and I wasn't playing Ghost Ogre. So like I'm playing Ghost Ogre now because that's more impactful in the current meta. And like in the side deck I was playing 3 copies of Phantasme in my side. I was playing Dark Hole in the side, and I opted to get rid of that. And I was also playing Raigeki in my side deck, but I took all those out because Phantasme is just, it's not really as effective in this format because like there's so many decks that just don't link summon. So it's like Phantasme just doesn't do anything a lot of the time, and it's better to just have like more cards that are impactful. So yeah, and but yeah, here's for my side deck, right? You have the one Pankratops because you can search it. It's really good going second. It's like even when you don't search it, like you can just sometimes just open it, and like you win with it. Playing the third copy of Ghost Ogre. So basically, like my side deck is very very much catered towards Utopic Zexal because that is the majority of what I'm losing to is like going second. They put up a situation where it's just like I cannot play the game. So my side deck is just entirely based on cards that will one stop Utopic Zexal, but two they will enable me to play the game going second. So yeah, and then we have 3 copies of the Gamecill, the three kaijus, because so basically how they do it right is that like game 1 they'll probably shotgun the Zexal. And then if you if you have the Imperm, if you have the Gamma, what they'll do is like games 2 and 3, they will not shotgun it. They will wait for the main phase and it will wait for you to commit a monster on the board, and then they will go ahead and chain the Utopic Zexal. So in that scenario, Gamecill just like completely outs the card. And then also like against like combo decks where they end on like multiple negations and all this other stuff, you can just kaiju it. And I'm playing 3 copies of Twin Twisters because, oh my god, Numeron back row decks are like the meta right now. Numeron Eldritch, Numeron Altergeist, Numeron Guru, like so much back row. But yeah, I'm playing triple Twin Twisters. I was originally playing Cosmic Cyclone, but I like Twin Twisters better because, pop 2 back row. And also, because, back row is kind of the meta right now, time is a factor a lot more. And so the Cosmic Cyclone is bad in that scenario because it's like I can't banish for back row because then I'll lose because I'll have less life points. So Twin Twisters instead, really, really good. And this is like, the new power that I've obtained, which is why I'm not playing like Raigeki and like, a lot of the other stuff that I was playing because I was, those are the budget options. Like Raigeki, Dark Hole, those are the budget going second options. Now, because if you've been following me on Twitter, you've seen me post some of my recent pulls. But I now have 1 copy of Lightning Storm, and yeah, this card is mad busted. It's good against everything. It's good against everything. Yeah, it's like I only drew it like once in tournament, but it's like when I drew it, it was good. Just blow up the board. So I'm playing Forbidden Chalice. So this enemy controller is going to be a second Forbidden Chalice as soon as I can get another copy. But like basically Forbidden Chalice is just another way to out the Utopic Zexal because like when they activate the effect, you Forbidden Chalice, you negate the effect, you're allowed to activate card effects, you're allowed to play Yugioh. But yeah, it's like I'm playing so much of it because a lot of times I need to have like multiple outs to it. Because, in that scenario where they're going like, I'm going to wait for you to commit to like an action, you want to be able to force them to activate. So you want something like Pankratops, because you can Pankratops and then trigger the effect to target it, and then it's no longer in the field. So if you have Imperm or Gamma, you can stop the Zexal. If you have Forbidden Chalice and Imperm, there's just more things that can like allow you to like force it out and then negate it. So yeah, Forbidden Chalice. Oh man, there's no need for me to talk about it because I already talked about it, but yeah. Anyway, next up we've got the triple evenly matched. Again, this is like, these combo decks and everything. You need stuff that can like break their board so you can actually play the game. Evenly matched. It's good against combo, it's good against back row. Really powerful card. And then last but not least, we've got 1 copy of Red Reboot. Anti-back row. This allows you to go like, okay, I'm going to evenly match. Do they have the Solemn? Oh, I have the Solemn. Well, I have the Red Reboot. Go ahead and pick a card from your deck, put it on the field, and then you got to banish all but 1 card. Well, actually, I think they would keep 2 because isn't this technically on the field? Well, actually, no, because it goes to the graveyard after it also. They still only keep 1. That's so broken. But yeah, that's going to be it for the deck profile. I will go ahead and go into like the math portion of like the theory behind the deck, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into the replays. This is where I know what I was going over, and I wanted to go over like the deck building theory that went into building this deck. So there's a great video up on Simo's channel that where Johnny Lee, a very high level Yu-Gi-Oh player, where he breaks down not only his deck profile, but he also goes over the deck building theory and just a lot of like fundamental things that you should know if you want to be a high level Yu-Gi-Oh player. And one of the things that he goes over, right, is that he mentions playing a deck with 11 to 14 starter cards. You want to play 11 to 14 starter cards. You only want to play like 1 or 2 normal summons, right? You'd want to play like, a smaller amount of defense cards. And what's the reasoning behind 11 to 14 combo starters? So the thing you want to keep in mind is consistency, right? So what does 11 to 14 starters actually translate to in a 40 card deck, right? So let's plug this in. 11 starters in a 40 card deck. That translates to about an 80% consistency rate. So the idea here is that you want to play a deck that has at least a 80% consistency rate, because the logic is that anything less, you're going to, like, there's a chance that you might brick and get knocked out before you can make it into Top Cut. And and I think like 14 cards is like 90%, but it's like, we're already on the probability calculator, might as well just, do it. So it's 90% chance, right? So the thing about a 60 card deck is that since your goal is just to reach that 80% consistency rating, if you're playing a larger deck size, you just have to account for the amount of starter cards you're playing, the amount of like combo cards you're playing, to also reach that like consistency size, right? So in my deck, I'm playing about, I want to say 16, I want to say, 1 card combo starters, right? I think, let me think. It's, so you have the 3 Fossil Dig, the 3 Oviraptor, the 3 Seyfert, the 3 Chaos Space, the 3 Black Metal, the 1-for-1. So that's 16 cards, right? And so as you can see, it's still around that like 80% chance. And that doesn't also factor in, like things like quick launch, things like, those awkward hands where I end up with like, Carboneton pitched off of a discard or something, like, all those awkward hands. But as you can see, it's still around that 80% consistency range, even though it's a 60 card deck. But here is the important thing for why, playing a larger deck size is good for Blue Eyes specifically. Because you have your Garnets, you don't want to draw your Garnets. You don't want to draw your Blue Eyes White Dragons. You don't want to draw, you don't want to draw a lot of stuff, right? So in a 40 card deck, right? Let's see, how many Garnets am I playing? Let's see. So you have the Blue Eyes monsters. That's the only real like Garnet, because those are the only cards that really you can't do anything with if you actually draw them. But like, there are Garnets in that you don't want to draw them, but not really bricks. So it's like, but let's just calculate with the 4 Blue Eyes cards, right? So as you can see, you have a 42% chance to open one of those Blue Eyes, one of those Garnets in a 40 card deck. Now, when you bump this number up to 60%, that number drops by almost 10%, right? And that's actually pretty, impactful when you're playing a Blue Eyes deck, because, like, in my experience, the majority of the times that I'm losing my games, a lot of the times it is because I bricked, right? So it's like, in a 60 card deck, as you can see, we can play enough combo starters so that our consistency rating is still in that like 80% consistency range. But because we're playing such a larger deck size, our chance of bricking goes down significantly, and that brings the consistency of the deck up so much higher. So like in a 60 card Blue Eyes list, with the same number of like garnets as like a 40 card Blue Eyes list, you actually end up with a more consistent deck when you're playing 60 cards than if you were playing just 40 cards, because of the fact that you have that lesser chance to break. And yeah, that's the main thing you want to keep in mind when it comes to deck building. So this is the Yu-Gi-Oh probability calculator. You can just go ahead and, like, type that into Google, and you can pull this up and you can, test out your math. And this is a large part of why, my deck building performs as well as it does, because I, look at the numbers. I, see, am I in this consistency range? Is this decision making my deck better or worse? These are things that, like, will help you. Now, let's look at something like, Called by the Grave. You might be thinking, because this is something that happened, like, in the tournament, right? Is after I beat the Numeron Invoke player, he was, like, talking to, some of the other people in the store, and they were saying, like, he was like, yeah, I shotgun in this, he's like, yeah, shotgun in a standby phase, and in his 60-card deck, he drew the Gamma. But, that's not really, that doesn't really factor in, my deck building. Because, okay, right? So let's say we have the 3 Gammas, right? Just the 3 Gamma. What is the chance that I will draw one of my 3 Gamma, I will open one of my 3 Gamma with a 5-card opening hand, right? In a 40-card list. I have a 33% chance to open one. So that's about one every third game, basically, right? Now, let's look at my 60-card list. So you realize I'm playing the 3 Gamma and the 3 Imperm, right? So that turns it up to 6 cards, right? So with 6 cards, I have a 40-something% chance, right? When you factor in the potential of me having even more cards to out the card, it gets even higher and higher and higher and higher, right? Because theoretically, like the Pankratops is also like an out to the card, but not really. Things that I would actually just shut it down in the standby. You have the Gammas and the Imperms, right? So me playing 6 cards, even though I'm playing a 60-card deck, I actually have a higher chance of opening one of these cards, even though I'm playing a 60-card deck, because I'm playing more copies of them to account for the fact that I'm playing a 60-card deck. Another thing is, like, I've had players be like, man, you always have, this, you always have that, man, why do you always have blah, 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 and, right, so it's like, like the Called by the Grave, right, it's always like, oh, you always have the Drag Down, or you always have the Called by the Grave, and it's like, so in a 60-card deck, you saw I'm playing 3 Called by the Grave and 3 Called by the Grave and 3 Drag Down, so it's like, it's not necessarily that I will see the Called by the Grave more often than I should be, but it's that I'm playing more copies of a card that facilitates that same thing. Yes, I always have the, my search card, but that's because I'm playing like 9 of them, So it's like, yeah, I'm playing more cards, but my deck is not actually less consistent because of the math that goes into it. So it's just like, if you're curious about like how to figure out your ratios for everything, to figure out your consistency, maybe you're breaking a lot, you can use this probability calculator and use it to like, perfect your ratios and things like that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this portion of the video. And yeah, I'm just gonna hop right into the test hands now. There we go. Alrighty, so I am here on Dueling Book. I'm going to be showcasing some test hands with the deck. Yeah, I'm not going to like factor in like interruptions and everything. Go get to see me like play through interruptions and such, like when I go to the brain come back. The actual like duels. But so yeah, we're just going to showcase like the combo that I typically want to go through. So the idea is you want to get into Hauki Fibrax and use the Hauki Fibrax to get your stone, and then use that to get your needle fiber plays going. So I'm just gonna, so you get this to your hand, and then you would actually just normal some of it, but I'm going to shortcut a tiny bit. You would use the Oviraptor effect, and then Oviraptor is going to mill the Carboneton. Where are you? Carboneton. There you are. So that will go to the grave. You activate its effect in grave to banish itself. Carboneton will then special summon the Flambeau Guard directly from the deck. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to link these two off, right? These two get linked off, and then you're going to go into the Halqifibrax. If I can find the darn thing. Where are you? Halqifibrax. Halqifibrax is going to trigger, and he's going to special summon directly from the deck your White Stone of Legend. There we go. Where is my Stone of Legend? Right there. So you're going to special summon this directly from the deck. Then you're going to link off the Stone of Legend, and you're going to get your Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon and White Stone of Legend are both going to trigger. So just a quick note regarding Stone of Legend. Because it is a mandatory effect, it is always Chain Link 1. So just something to keep in mind, right? But you're going to get your Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you're going to get your Boot Sector Launch. If I can find it. There we go. Boot Sector Launch. Alright, you're going to get those two. So interesting enough, we have alternatives. So this is just a free body on the board, so it's like, you know, free extender, pretty good. Anyway, so you need a starter to get you into your Halqifibrax or like your Romulus or whatever, but then past that you're going to need another Dragon extender. So turns out we have a Quick Launch in our hand, so we can go ahead and activate Quick Launch to summon a Dragon directly from the deck. And we're going to get, it doesn't really matter which one, it really doesn't. But we can go ahead and, well, actually don't summon the Rokket Tracer, because I've actually, like, you know, like, not, like, missed game because I used, like, my tracers too quickly. So that's just something to keep in mind. But anyway, get that Silverrokket Dragon onto the board, and then we're going to link that off. You're going to get your Guard Dragon. Where are you? Guard Dragon LP. Get your Guard Dragon LP. You're going to use your LP, and LP is going to summon directly from the deck. If it'll pull up for me, there we go. Your Omni Dragon Brotar. Where are you? Brotar. There you are. Get Omni Dragon Brotar. Brotar's effect is going to trigger. You're going to use the Brotar. You're going to pitch the Blue Eyes. So the thing about like the Blue Eyes engine and what it does for the deck is that like pretty much all of your discards are going to be free because you're almost always going to have a Blue Eyes to use for your discard, and then like you get to use the Blue Eyes for other things like immediately afterwards too, and it's like it's stupid good. But anyway, you're going to do that, and you're going to search the Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. I can't really showcase like the whole searching the alternative directly to the deck because, you know, I kind of drew it. But anyway, so at this point, you go ahead and you would, you know, you link off all four. And then you make the Saryuja Skulldread. And then basically at this point, this is the only other like RNG part of the combo, is that off of Saryuja, you need to, after this effect resolves, have a level 4 or lower dragon type monster in your hand. And well, we've got Rokket Tracer, so we're good anyway. But we're going to go ahead and draw 4 cards and see what we end up with. 3. Oh, Seyfert. So this is the, so if you draw Seyfert in this scenario, that's where you get to like use the, you get to do this. Because you can Seyfert, you know, search alternative, and then like pitch the alternative. No, Seyfert, get the alternative, and then like basically, blah. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So that's 1, 2, 3. Gotta get the 4th card, and 4 Quick Launch. Ooh, that's strong. I'm probably gonna put back 1. Put back 1 Imperm. Put back. Do we want to put back the Blue Eyes alternative? Because technically we can just search it. Okay, this might not be a good play, but I'm gonna do it. This way, it's like if it's the wrong play, you get to like, you know, see me mess up. We're gonna put the Quick Launch on the bottom of the deck as well, right? And then we're gonna use Saryuja. We're gonna special summon the Seyfert. Gonna use the Seyfert. I'm gonna pitch the Legionnaire actually. This is probably the wrong play, but we're gonna do it anyway. I think it's the right play. I think it's the right play. And we're going to search the alternative back to our hand. Right? Just to showcase, like, doing that. Then we're going to link off for the Guard Dragon Pisty. Right? Pisty's going to trigger. And you're going to get the stone. Then you're going to link these two. I think this is the right play. This is probably the right play. I think I'm doing it right. And you're going to make Romulus. The stone and the Romulus are both going to trigger. You're going to get 2 cards. You're going to get a Blue Eyes, and you're going to get the Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine. Get that in your hand, right? Now, you're going to reveal this Blue Eyes. And you're going to special summon this alternative onto the field. Then you're going to activate the Dragon Ravine. And you're going to use that Dragon Ravine to pitch the Blue Eyes in your hand to the graveyard. To then put the to then send the Galactic Spiral Dragon from your deck to the graveyard. Next up, you can banish the where's the Seyfert? Banish the Seyfert to add back the Levianeer. Okay, there we go. So I had a combo order wrong, so it's like that is the right way to do it. Anyway, you banish 3 darks. It doesn't really matter which ones you banish. Personally, I like to try and save the Striker Dragon because that comes up sometimes. 1, 2, and the Brotar. So banish 3. We're going to summon the Levianeer onto the board. And you're going to rip a card out of their hand at this point. Alright? Now, ideally, if you had like another extender, so this is something you do if you have the what's the card? What is that doggone card? I can't remember what it's called. The Baby Dragons. If you have the Baby Dragon, you'd have that extra body so that when you make the Galactic Spiral Dragon, you'd be able to turn the Baby Dragon into level 8, or maybe if you had like a Red Eyes. Basically, if you had like another like effect monster on the board, you could. Oh dang! I shouldn't have gotten rid of that quick launch, huh? Shouldn't have gotten rid of that quick launch. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring back. We're gonna special summon this Galactic Spiral Dragon. And we're gonna get the important one, because this is like the important part of the combo, right? Is you want to make the number 38 Hope Harbinger under the Yugioh, so it gets that boost, right? And since we're gonna be keeping both, that gets the boost as well. Next up, we're gonna link these 2 off. It's like you don't always get like the most explosive variant of the combo, but it's like it doesn't matter because like as you can see, like this is what you consistently end on. And then you're going to Union Carrier. You're going to go ahead and you're going to get the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, and you're going to equip it directly from the deck to the number 38. So that goes up to 4,300 attack. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to send this to the grave, and we're going to activate Boot Sector Launch. Right? Boot Sector Launch is going to trigger, and we're going to special summon the Rokket Tracer onto the board. We're going to trigger its effect. We're going to pop the Union Carrier. And we're going to summon directly from the deck a Rocket Monster. So where is Magnarokket Dragon? Going to get Magnarokket Dragon directly from the deck. And we're going to synchro with them. And you're going to make your Borreload Savage Dragon. Now, the reason there's a specific order that you have to do this. You don't have to, but you typically want to do the like carrier lock thing first and equip this first before you make your Borreload Savage Dragon, because then when you get the Borreload Savage Dragon, you can equip the Yugioh to your Borreload Savage Dragon, and it's at 4,400 attack with 4 negates. So yeah, that's pretty beefy. So this end board, and this isn't even like the best version. Oh wait, so technically you have another interruption because you have this Imperm, right? Technically, right? So this board ended on you know, you have your spell negate, you have your omni negate, you have your slow charge field spell. They're locked out of the extra deck. They can only attack the number 38, and then you also have an imperm. So that's 3 negates. You know, that's 3 negates. So we'll do like maybe 1 or 2 more test ends. So we're gonna like reshuffle the deck. I'm trying to think of like what I want to showcase. Oof. Ooh. Oh man, that hurts. We're gonna set this imperm, so we guarantee to have at least that 1 negate, right? And then you reveal. Do we drag down? Do we want to dig? I think we want to dig, actually. I think we do want to dig. So we're gonna drag down into the grave. They're gonna take something from us. Oh, they're probably gonna take the stone, to be honest, because that's like the only monster we can normal summon. And then like you would look in their hand, you know what to play through, blah blah blah. Oh, and we got a monster, so that's pretty good. And then the stone is gonna trigger, and we're gonna get a where are you at? Where are you at? See, this is why I hate playing online. You always end up with these weird hands that never happen in tournament. Whatever. Anyway, we're gonna normal. No, that's not what I was doing. So I'm gonna normal this Magnarokket Dragon. I'm gonna link it off for Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon's gonna trigger. It would be so much better if that was like the other rocket. Where you at? Where are you at? Boot sector launch. I need that. Need that right now. This was the going second hand. Oh, this was definitely the going second hand because we got the Gamma next turn. Oof. And this might actually just be like one of the rare bricks because I didn't draw any of my 17 starters. Like I actually didn't have any starters, but even then. Where is the boot sector launch? Okay, there we go. Boot sector launch. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Do we want to get back the Magnarokket? Like, well, actually, yeah, we do. So we want to use this, pop itself, to get back this. Right? We're gonna get this back, and then use this to get this. Oh my god. What? How did that even happen? I don't know how that happened, but whatever. Right? Anyway, so we're gonna we're gonna use the boot sector launch to summon this. See, if it was Tracer, if it wasn't like this rocket, if it was like any of the like 6 copies of Tracer, this would at least end on a Borreload Savage Dragon, but like, dang, bro. So we're going to special you. It's a little bit beefier because of the boot sector launch, and you just kind of have to hope that like this body and this imperm will be able to save you from like dying. Because because what'll happen, right? If you survive, this would get destroyed in the end phase. It would summon a Rokket Tracer. All right, so where's Tracer? Because like these bricks are like uncommon, but they can still happen. So it is important to know like how to play with them and what your best plays are. Because there's a lot of games, well, not a lot of games, but there have been games where it's like I've had like awkward hands like this, and I've won because like I still was able to make some kind of play, and I didn't just pass with nothing on the field. But we're gonna draw. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? That's what we like to see, Fossil Dig. We like to see Fossil Dig. So it's like on the following turn, we get Oviraptor, and you already know what Oviraptor means. Oviraptor's full combo. Like, literally. Oviraptor is literally just full combo. So you would normal this. Its effect is going to trigger. And now, since this is like, you know, a follow-up turn, right? We'll banish that. Summon the Flammable Guard. We're going to link these two off. Get ourselves a Hauki Fibrax. This is why you never scoop, baby. Because you never know what you draw. Okay, sometimes you like, you know, you look at your draw and you're just like, okay, I'm going to scoop now, right? Oh no! I can't actually summon it. I just realized that it's in the graveyard. Okay, what can we do? What can we do? Okay, it's fine, because we can summon the Dragon Buster Destructor. We have another tuner. We're not out of this yet. We link these two, link that off. Okay. We got to do the awkward version of the combo. So this is a situation where we probably go into like Boral Sword OTK. Actually, I think we can just OTK. Get the Pisty. We're only able to summon the dragons at this point. LP. Right. And we're gonna get the Brotar. Or do we get the Red Eyes? That might be the play. Because we might need that extra body. I don't know. But then we do want to we want to kill the opponent. So we're gonna pitch you. Maybe pitch that. I'm probably gonna regret that. That was probably the wrong play. We're gonna pitch that. Do we get greedy? I think we're getting really greedy with this one. We're gonna get the Levianeer off of the Brotar. Where's the Brotar? Not the Brotar. We're gonna get the Levianeer. Do we have a mix of light and darks? We do. So we're gonna banish some light and darks. Right? We're gonna banish some light and darks. We're gonna get the Levianeer. We're gonna blow up their field. And then we're gonna link off 1, 2, 3. We're gonna make the Boral Sword, right? Then we're gonna use the Pisty. We're gonna bring back. What are we gonna bring back? What are we gonna bring back? We're gonna bring. Does it really matter? Not really. Okay, we're gonna bring back the Striker. The Tracer. My bad. We're gonna Tracer effect. We're gonna pop this. So we're locked in the darks, which is fine because we're trying to OTK. We only need the darks. We're gonna get the other Rokket. If I can find it. Where are you? Okay. There we go. Silverrokket Dragon. Directly from the deck. We've got bodies. We got bodies on board. Okay, I see how we got this now. So we're gonna bring back the Spiral Dragon. Special summon this, right? We're gonna overlay. We can make this work. I don't have a Dark Dragon I can go into. Yeah, the only thing I'd be able to make is Dingirson. I gotta get rid of this first somehow. I don't have a way to get rid of this. Oh, I should have popped this. Okay, we'll assume we pop this, actually. That way I'm not locked into darks right now. or rather, locked into dragons. So Bootsceptor Launch will still be on the field. So just keep that in mind. You want that. You're locked in the darks, so you go ahead and you're going to overlay, right? And you're going to make that Dingirsu. You're locked in the darks. You make the Dingirsu. The Dingirsu will then use its effect and it's going to send something to the grave. You synchro these off. We're going to make the Borlo Savage Dragon. And equip it with the Halki Fibrax. That was supposed to be in the Spell and Trap Zone, though, but whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. And then this is more than enough for game, because it's like you popped 3 cards. Well, okay, so you pop 2 with Levianeer, and you send 1 with Dingirsu. You have Boral Sword to beat over whatever, and then you have Borlo Savage Dragon and Dingirsu. That's definitely more than 8,000 damage. So it's like, that's OTK, right? Alright, so it's important to showcase these kind of plays because, these are the things that happen in tournament a lot. Well, not a lot, but it's they happen. Oh, man. So this is actually my favorite interaction in the deck. We didn't want to draw this, though. Oh, wait a minute. So let me tell you one of the benefits about playing Dragon Link, right? So Carrier can only equip it from the deck, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, you can equip it from the hand, but that doesn't matter because Saryuja Skuldra can just put it back in the deck. But anyway, so this is my favorite interaction in this deck, right? let's say you activate quick launch, let's say you activate, chaos space or whatever, and then they go, I'm going to ash that, right? Then you get to do this. Sideframe gear gamma, right? You get the gamma, and you're going to get the, where's the driver? Get the driver. And then your quick launch would also resolve. So we're going to get, where's one of my rockets? Get the rocket, right? And just like that, we pretty much got like full combo off of that, right? And yeah, you pretty much have full combo at this point, because now you can link these two off. And keep in mind, because you link them off, your driver's in the grave. So if you draw another gamma later on, you can still use that gamma. But anyway, you're going to make the Halki Fibrax. Halki Fibrax is going to trigger. And you're going to get a Stone of Legend directly from the deck. Right? And you haven't normal summoned yet. So you can also, like, normal the Black Metal Dragon. Right? And this is going to be important because, like, this is one of those hands where it's just like you probably play through like all their hand traps and junk do, because like just like that interaction with gamma it's so strong. But you know the usual stuff. We've gone over this. Striker Dragon. Gonna get a Blue Eyes and a Boot Sector launch. And now you know that Rokket Tracer is in our hand that we could use with Boot Sector launch as well. Oh, that's convenient. They're next to each other. Get these two to your hand, link off, make the LP. The LP then activates, and you're going to summon from the deck the Brotar. Where are you, Brotar? Brotar is going to trigger. You're going to pitch the Blue Eyes. You're going to search the Legionnaire. Y'all know how this go. Where are you, Levy? This is probably one of the more explosive hands in the deck. It's like, so that's the thing I like about this deck is that, like, even, like, if there's I can't remember a time where it's, like, every single card in my hand was just, like, amazing. There's always, like, one card is like, man, I wish that wasn't that. But, so I'm a normal summon the Black Metal Dragon. Because I want to show y'all some, like, yeah, this hand is just, this hand is stupid. 3 and 4. Why am I doing this? Let me tell you why. Because I can Saryuja, Chainlink 1, Black Metal Dragon, Chainlink 2, to chain block the Saryuja, which is mad good. And then you're going to, and then you also get to like thin the deck before you draw. So stupid. Get this in my hand. And we're going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, Carboneton, 3, 4. So we got the Absorouter Dragon, and we got the alternative. Like, man, this hand is stupid. Do we want to keep the Carboneton? Because theoretically, like, we could pitch this and maybe get something off of that. Like, so one thing we do know, we're going to put the Buster Whelp back into the deck. Probably put back the Fossil Dig, honestly. Probably put back the Absorouter. Yeah, that's how we're going to do that. Then we're going to link you off for Pisty. We're going to Pisty. We're going to bring back our Stone. We're going to link them off. And we're going to make the Romulus. Blop, blop. We're going to get 2 cards. We're going to get the Dragon Ravine and the Blue Eyes. And how convenient they're next to each other. There we go. So I just want to, like, this is, because this is something that happens, and I just want to call attention to this. But, like, I have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in my hand. I have 8 cards in my hand. I have 8 cards in my hand. Crazy, bro. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna reveal this Blue Eyes. And we're gonna summon this alternative onto the board. This is stupid, bro. This is mad stupid. I'm gonna go ahead and how I want to do this. Yeah, just go ahead and start ripping cards out of the hand. So 1, 2, and get the black metal. And we're gonna special summon the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. We're gonna rip some cards out of their hand. So they've gotten 1 card ripped out of their hand. We're gonna Dragon Ravine. We're gonna pitch this Blue Eyes into the grave, and we're gonna mill. We'll send the the Spiral Dragon. Put that in the grave. I'm going to activate the Starliege effect because I haven't done that, and we're gonna get this bad boy. So there's a specific order you want to do this, right? Because you want to use this first, right? You want to use this first. So we're going to special summon this, and we're going to use its effect to turn everything into level 8. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start using, you know, all these other cards, right? We're going to get the... Wait, hold up. I see where I goofed. You don't wanna, you wanna leave like one of these zones open. Retroactive changing, yay! But anyway, you're gonna summon. It doesn't really matter which one you summon first, because you got flexibility. But now you're gonna use the Red Eyes, and you're gonna special summon the Tracer. Then you're gonna go ahead and overlay, and you're gonna get your number 38. They're both boosted by Yugioh. I just realized I didn't even have to pitch that Blue Eyes. Oh dang! Wow! So I could have done that even without the extension, because I could have pitched the Carbonet on, and then banished the Carbonet on, and then that would have been the body that I could use for the Spiral Dragon. Man, that's so broken. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead. No. Do not do that yet. You're gonna link off. Make our Union Carrier. Union Carrier effect. We're gonna do the thing. Where are you? Where is the ding? The ding. We put it back in the deck, so I know it's in the deck. I'm just blind. Okay, okay, there we go. I'm actually blind. Where is it? Equip the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Now we go ahead and pop. So in scenarios where you aren't popping the Dragon Ravine, you want to pop the fields, or rather, you pop the Union Carrier, but you don't want to avoid popping the Union Carrier if possible, because on the follow-up turn, this is a Link 2, so that's fodder to help you go into Absorouter Dragon to just go ahead and wrap up the game. But if you can pop, like that's only if you only pop the Union Carrier if the field spell is Boot Sector Launch, because you don't want to pop that, because that's your recovery play if anything bad happens. Where art thou? There we go. Magnarokket Dragon. And then we're going to Synchro. We're going to make the Borreload Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon's going to equip the Yugioh. And then this is what you end on. You've got a Omni Negate with 4,400 attack points. You've got a Spell Negate with 4,300 attack points. That also redirects all attack to him, so they can't just like swing over the Union Carrier. You've got Dingirsu protecting the board. So this was actually one of the more impactful decisions, because before I was playing number 90 for like the Monster Gate to play around Nibiru, but like as I explained during the deck profile, it's better to play through Nibiru than try to play around it. And this allows my negates, even though I have less negates than the other version of the deck, the negates are so much more impactful because, you know, it's a lot harder to like force me to use my negates, right? Because if somebody goes Pankratops, right, I can just detach from Dingirsu. If they go Lightning Storm, I can just detach from Dingirsu. If they go Dark Hole, I can just detach from Dingirsu. If they go Raigeki, I can just detach from Dingirsu, right? So what that means is that like these negates are very often, they're much more likely to be able to be used as actual negates as opposed to just making sure that my monsters stay on the board so that I can Boral Sword or TK them next turn. But so basically, like you've got all these. If you detach stuff, you have like this will come back to the board, and it's, you know, link fodder as well. you can use it for rank case, but you can use this as link fodder to make Boral Sword. You've got the Carbonetta, which is technically 2 bodies because you link it off and then you summon Flambeau Guard from the deck. You got Boot Sector Launched, which will summon 3 rockets from the graveyard if they build a board and everything, right? And like overall, it's extremely powerful. And this isn't even really like the strongest it can get, because you realize I opened the Buster Whelp, right? But it's just man, it's so good. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and showcase some actual duels, some dueling book replays featuring the deck, so you can kind of see it in action. Alrighty, so this was one of the ranked matches I played with the deck. Yeah, I played a ranked match with it. He's playing Synchron Turbo or whatever. It's it makes it's the XL Synchro deck, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit that fast forward button so we can just kind of blitz through it. I'll pause if I feel it's necessary to explain a situation. So we're going to drag down immediately. I'm going to look at his hand. I go, okay, cool. He doesn't have hand traps. I can go ahead and pop it, right? We got the pop. We got popping off. Ramalum. Ripping a card out the hand. Oof. 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 Ooh. No! I was like, oh, okay, no, Borlo Savage. That's a bead. Yeah, he's not. I think he tries it. He just immediately scoops. And then game 2, right? Game 2, right? So he goes into. So the thing is, right? I've actually played this deck before. Except my variant is shooting Quasar Dragon Turbo, right? So I know that I wait for the Junk Speeder, because once you go into Junk Speeder, you're locked in the Synchro monsters, right? And so I wait for him to resolve Junk Speeder, and then it be like that. It be like that. And I don't think he's doing anything relevant at all. Yeah. And then he sees the Ovi after. I think he scoops immediately. Yep. And then he's like, okay, we want the rematch, right? And we go for the rematch, and what happened? Oh, we tied in rock paper scissors 4 times or something. It was ridiculous, right? Oh, I didn't mean to sneak peek that. But yeah, I don't have any hand traps. I don't think I have any hand traps. Let me see. Yeah, I have no hand traps. I have no hand traps. So it's just he gets to pop off completely. Oof. Oof. But you get to see the combo. Okay, so it's this thing, right? And it's it protects their monsters. It's a negate, and then I think he also ends on the what's the card? The Stardust Warrior, I think? Yeah, Stardust Warrior. This guy who can negate summons. And then I try to get plays going, and he negates it. I'm just he negates both my things. I'm just okay, maybe I can it's 3K. He might not kill me. Maybe I get something that can facilitate whatever. And then I think what did he make? Oh, this. Once this hit the bar, I was yeah, I'm dead. I was all right, you got it. I was yeah, you got it. And then like game 3, right? So this is so something happens here, and it's like this was actually a new ruling. Because like when he did, I was like, wait a minute, does that work? And so like I called the judge, right? But we'll see. Junk speeder. That's charge warrior. I think he makes like he makes Stardust, right? And he ends on this, right? So the tech was, right? The tech. So this is something I've been on recently, is that like going second, after I lose going second, I will board for going second. You know, like game 2, I'll board for going second and then make my opponent go first. And a lot of times it gets people because, like, you know, they know I'm playing a going first combo deck, and then I lost going second. Of course I want to go first, right? Yeah, I'm counting on you thinking that. So typically what ends up happening is I make them go first, and they end up with this, like, this awkward hand where they have, like, you know, a bunch of going second cards, but they're going first without that extra card. So they gotta like build a weird board or whatever. And so this guy, he ends on like Stardust Dragon, and like that's it. I think that was it. Okay, yeah, Signal. Sorry about that. But anyway, so I quick launch, and he tries to negate it with Stardust, right? Because so the logic was that in quick launch's card text, it does have like destroying in the card text, and I'm like, does that work? And I'm like, that doesn't seem like it works. And so I called the judge, and I was like, yo, can you tell me if this works, right? Hold up, there we go, right? And so the judge gets here, and I'm like, can Stardust Dragon negate quick launch? And he's like, no. And then like I tell my opponent, like, do you agree with the ruling? And then it's all right. And like so I wanted to ask like why, like because I think I understand. I thought I understood why, and it turns out I was right. But basically, right, the reason why that doesn't work is because the card has to destroy on resolution, right? It has to destroy something that is on the field, basically, right? And quick launch doesn't actually do that. So like the card that it would be quote unquote destroying is not on the field yet. So it's not something that Stardust can like respond to. But yeah, that was basically how that one went. So yeah, we're gonna go into another replay. All right, so this one was especially because, as you can see, it's Nim Nim, right? And like this was one where I was so sad, 'cause I was like, man, I would have loved for this to get streamed. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna hop right in, and like, yeah. Oh, did I lose the die roll? No, I won the die roll. Oh no, so I was scared, right? Let me tell you why I was scared. Because anytime someone loses the die roll, or rather they win the die roll and they go, you can go first, I'm always scared. Because I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna get like evenly matched. I'm gonna get lightning starred. But anyway, we're gonna get the fossil dig. Gonna get the fossil dig, right? Gonna use the black metal, get the striker dragon, and he ogres me, right? And I'm like, dang. So let me tell you what happened. So this is the part where I'm just like, I really wish this was streamed. So you saw how I like revealed the blue eyes? So I'm like, are you ready? And I reveal the blue eyes, and he's like, oh my god. Right? Hold up. And I reveal blue eyes, and I summon alternative. He's just like, what? What? And then, so like I reveal the blue eyes, I summon the alternative, and I use it as an extender to continue my combo. And I'm just like, this is the wildest thing I've ever happened. So it's like this way you get to see like, some of the alternate combo routes. This is like the, the dark combo route, right? So, you do this. Boral Sword. I think I ended on like Boral Sword, Boral Savage Dragon. Okay, so my mistake was leaving this thing on the field. Like, oh, I should got rid of this. Oh yeah, and then he like forbidden droplets. So this is he was playing post Rise of the Duelist Orcus, right? Anyway, I have this. Oh, what does he do? He dings away my Boral Savage Dragon. And then, okay. So I just want to like, so real quick, right? So the tactics, talents or whatever, right? What ended up happening there, right? So I activated the Boral Sword, and, you know, that was activating a monster effect during his turn, but it turns out it's only if they activate a monster effect during the main phase, and I activated the Boral Sword during the battle phase. So, yeah, there was that, right? And, like, he's got the IP, so I'm trying to force out the IP, right? And, like, I know he's got the Dingirson. I'm basically trying to force his stuff so I can, like, play before he commits anything. What is this token? Oh, it's the Mech Knight token from, like, Orcus Girsu. Or something like that. Like, I'm trying to remember what's going on, right? I'm trying to, like, force out the activation. Symbol Skeleton comes out, the Dingirsu sends my Boral Sword. And, like, I'm about to swing over the IP, but then I remember, I'm like, wait a minute, let me read some card effects. And I'm just like, oh, man. Yeah, because it's like, what is it? Is it the Nightmare? The Orchestrated Nightmare? That targets the IP, and like, so basically the IP is 1100 right now, so I can't actually beat over it, and I'm like, dang. I'm glad I read the card effect, because I would just kill my monster. And then, like, later on in the game, I realized I should have killed my monster, because, like, I end up not being able to do anything because of this doggone Pisty locking me in the dragons. Right? And then, like, I'm just like, God, I should have got rid of it, right? What did I pop? Did I pop the token? Why did I pop the token? I should have popped the freaking Pisty. And basically, like, oh, I definitely should have popped the Pisty. Right? Why did I synchro? What are you doing? Hold up. Why didn't I use that? Why didn't I just sync? Okay. Yeah, why didn't I just synchro in the Boral Savage Dragon and equip it with the Boral Sword? What am I doing? Oh my gosh. He goes for the Unicorn. Oh, and this is honestly, so I think Nimnim misplays here, right? So, my thought process, right? For me trying to, like, justify his play. He doesn't want to, like, get rid of the Pisty, because he knows the Pisty is stopping me from doing things. He doesn't want to target the Tracer, because he knows I can just chain the Tracer and tag it out with something else, right? So he targets the Magnarokket, and, like, that ends up backfiring too, because you know Magnarokets and all the rockets, right? When they're targeted by a Link monster, they get to trigger their effect to destroy themselves and activate their effect. And Magnarokket, when he gets targeted by a Link monster, he can destroy himself and then send an opponent's monster to the graveyard. So the fact that this was made with IP doesn't matter. And I think he probably just forgot that distinction that Magnarokket sends. So yeah. And then, like, tactical talents and everything, and then he's gonna draw 2 cards. Basically, this ended up being like a grind game, because it's like, we can't do anything. What he did something. So he's gonna swing over this. I'm gonna take some damage. I'm gonna pass. I'm going to summon a Tracer from the deck in the end phase off of the Magnarokket with a quick launch, and then I'm gonna realize, oh no, I used all my Tracers because I like used one at the beginning of the game, and I didn't have any more targets, and I was like, dang. I'm gonna normal the Oiraptor. Oh, that was why it was important, right? Because I needed that extra body, but I didn't have that extra body because I'm trying to get stuff on the board so I can get like something. So we Oiraptor, we get this. We're locked into Dragon, so I'm like, okay, I gotta get something, right? We're gonna start Yugioh, we're gonna draw 4. And we can start getting stuff going, right? And I don't think I ended up getting any like monsters or anything. Oh wait, no, that's real good. Okay, we got a Silverrokket Dragon. What are we doing? What am I doing? And I think does he end up bringing back the? I don't know what is he doing? What's going on? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a called by the grave. Scrap recycler. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So I was because he should have scrap recycler in the grave. Okay, he doesn't actually. Never mind. Ignore that. He does something. Okay, so he tries to do the. Didn't he go for like the scrap wyvern play? Oh no, that was like in a couple later turns. That's what it was. And then he's gonna Dingirsu. I'm gonna reattach. I'm gonna called by the grave the Dingirsu to negate it. He's gonna swing over my Yugioh. And I think I draw like another called by the grave. I'm going to defense. He's not gonna swing. Oh, he targets something. Oh, I let the scrap recycler come back. Cause then he links it off for scrap wyvern to try and, go for the like OTK and everything, right? And then so when he targets the scrap wyvern, I called by the grave it, right? And then that ends up like that basically wins me the game. I swing over his monster. So now we can show the hands, right? As you can see, I don't have anything. Right? I'm gonna set the monster, so I just have another body. So it's like he has an imperm and a world one. He has no playable cards. Is my next card? It doesn't show what my next card was gonna be. Anyway, like, he leaves. And that's basically, how that one goes. So that's going to be it for the replays. Yeah. I, decided to just kind of dump everything together. I know this is a really, really, really long video. And if, stuck through for the whole thing, even if you, like, watch it over, like, the course of, like, a couple of days, because, like, this is definitely a video I would do that with, where it's just, like, I might watch one part one day, one part another day, or whatever. So it's like, yeah. This has been Darkslayer Arim. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please considering liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and also turning on that notification bell so you guys can be notified when that, that spicy Spirit Dragon Turbo deck comes out, right? Because this deck profile, right? This video is based off of the deck profile I topped with, not this past weekend, but actually the week before that. Because, like, what ended up happening is that, I accidentally deleted the file after I finished everything, and I was just like, ugh. But anyway, like, I ended up making, like, a Spirit Dragon Turbo deck, and, like, topping with that as well, because, I tried to modernize it and everything, and it was actually, like, it was hot. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. This has been Darkslayer Arim. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.